You can't sleep either? How about a bedtime story? Here's one. The Last Breath. I can smell things. When I inhale over a corpse, I can smell how they died, which organs were damaged, how the blood flowed or leaked from the body. It was a useful talent for a forensic coroner. But when my wife died, it failed. I wasn't officially involved, of course, but when my former colleagues turned a blind eye, I found nothing. Nothing in the brain, practically nothing in the organs beyond a mild thickening of the liver from the wine we enjoyed together in the evenings. Some bruising and broken bones from the fall, of course. Nothing else. Yet something had killed her, for I found her body twisted at the bottom of the stairs. I became the prime suspect, and I wondered if I had done it, but nothing could be proved. Finally, the police wrote, "Foul play cannot be ruled out." Only my wife knew about my ability to smell death, and she found it exciting and even useful rather than morbid, for she had always tended to hypochondria. With me, at the first cough or twinge, I'd breathe her scent in and put her mind at rest. I can't recall a single day of actual sickness, and we joked she would outlive me for all her worries. I didn't like to smell her too often. It made me sad as time passed. Corpses are easy. They smell of their death and the morgue. The living have another scent. When I first met my wife, she smelled of pepper and soap. Until she died, I remained convinced that that smell was her love for me. Love is usually sharp. It faded with time, but we still loved one another, and I would never have done anything to hurt her. The last time I smelled her particular scent had been the night she died. "My throat is dry, Robert," she said. We were in bed, scrolling through the day's updates before turning off the light. A terrible habit, but one we couldn't seem to break. The newspapers were talking about bird flu again, so I leant in and sniffed her neck to put her fears at rest. I smelled the mild talcum powder scented cream she put on each night, the cotton of her nightdress. I smelled the peppery, soapy aroma of her love for me, so faint it gave me a pang. Barely there at all. But no sickness, and I told her so. "I need water," she swallowed with a grimace. "I'll get it," I said, for she didn't seem able to move, didn't seem quite there. No. She smiled at me before she left the room. At that moment, I saw her properly again for the first time in months. She looked old, smaller than I remembered. For several years now, she always looked smaller than I remembered. And that smell, her smell, was gone before the door closed behind her. I'm sure of that. I looked at my own blue-veined hands. They looked shockingly old around the glossy plastic of my phone. Then I heard her gasp and tumble, cracking against the carpeted stairs as she fell. And really, the only solution that fits the facts is that I killed her after all. All because of one mistake, perhaps. What if it wasn't love I smelled on the living, but their soul? And after so many years of breathing it in, that night I had drained her of the last bit of hers. All right, good night.